Welcome to the KDrama Show with Ashley and Kim.
That's Ashley.
That's Kim. We're here to recap and relive our favorite moments of episodes 9 through 12 of Doctor Slump with you, our listeners.
We're going to jump right in, so if you have not yet, make sure you go and watch those episodes before you listen to our podcast today. But without further ado, we're going to jump right in.
Welcome to the KDrama Show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Kim.
We're here to unpack your all-time favorite Korean dramas and chat about all the reasons that we find these shows so charming.
And so addictive. And we know you do too, so settle in with some ramen and a boba tea while we dive into the KDrama Show with Ashley and Kim.
Check out the Ashley T on Instagram. I will get to it, I promise. Life has been a little chaotic for, well, both of us, really. But go check us out at the KDrama Show. Make sure you're following us on YouTube. Comment, like all of our stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So, this was a very interesting installment, in my opinion, because I feel like we really got out of the drama and into, like, the relationship side of things. So, like, obviously in the first half of the show, right, because we've hit the second half of the show, they really honed in on the fact that their worlds are kind of crashing down around them.
Right.
And the fact that we sort of wrapped up, like, the trial and everything in the first half of the show, which I had said before kind of surprised me at first. We really start to see how the inner workings of, like, HaNeul's family they like work around each other.
Yeah.
I think the glimpse into Pada, who was in the previous installment, like
like him as a kid?
6 through 10, right? Or 6 through 9? Pada?
Yeah.
6 through 8?
6 through 8, yeah.
5 through 8? Oh my
5
gosh.
through 8.
I'm sorry, my family has literally been sick for like 14 days, so.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, but Pada's point of view, I think, was in the previous podcast episode. So,
now we're just back to obnoxious little brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obnoxious, but very insightful.
In the most obnoxious way.
And he even admits to, like, I think it's episode 12, where he goes out drinking with Taesun and JeongWoo, where he's like, I'm young and naive, so I can get away with asking these questions. And you're just like, oh, that's kind of meta. A little
really
too
is.
self-aware. So he knows. He's not stupid. He's just choosing to remain blissfully unaware so that he can get away with more crap. But yeah.
Well, that's even like when HaNeul like starts interacting with her family, like what would be considered normal, but for her is very abnormal, of sitting down and being like, I was told that you started to grow the cabbages for me because it would help me. And Pata's just like, yeah, these are the things that mom has been doing for you because she cares about you. And their mom is just going, shut up, stop it. But he's like, no, like, she's acknowledging it. Let's continue that.
Yeah. I love the little family unit that they've built because it's so it's kind of clunky, but it just works so well. And I feel like they could have really taken it sort of a cringy direction, especially with, like, the mom.
When we started pretty cringy.
We did. We started out kind of cringy, and they really brought her around, like, to me at least, because I wasn't sure how I felt about her at first. Just because I don't like the whole me-centric direction she's going for a minute there. But she really course-corrected in these last few episodes to where she's just trying to make life normal for her daughter. Like, she doesn't want anything from her. She doesn't have expectations for her. She just truly, genuinely wants her daughter to be happy. And we see that when the phone call from the aunt comes through, where she's like, hey, I have this guy from the hospital. That was this episode.
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay.
That was,
they're all blending together now. I'm going from memory. That's a really dangerous thing for me right now.
Do you want mine? I have some pretty good bullet points.
Okay. But when the aunt's like, there's this son of a hospital owner who is looking for a future heir, but in a daughter-in-law because his son's kind of a deadbeat.
Right.
And the things that go through her mind are not, my daughter is a loser for being broken up with and my daughter is a loser for not having a job. It's, these are the things she's looking for.
Right.
Maybe this can help her out of her slump. But just get her back on her feet, get her thinking that she is capable and she's a good doctor. She is someone to be desired, and maybe this will kickstart like something else even if it doesn't work out.
This could be a new direction.
Right.
Basically.
And so when HaNeul takes that poorly, her mom is just like heartbroken about it because that was not her intention, was to make her daughter feel small.
No.
But HaNeul definitely felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like the way that they kind of addressed that. I felt like it was a good talking point, just because I think there are people like that and there are parents like that that are like, you're making me look bad. Stupid dog. You're making me look bad. And so for them to just air out that dirty laundry was good.
And fast, at least. It wasn't like...
Yeah, that's something I appreciate about this show is they
don't dwell.
Did I just raccoon myself?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You're good. No? What are some of your favorite moments? I mean, obviously, like, her mom and hers relationship, like, that was...
Do we want to keep down the relationship road for a minute?
We might as well.
Okay.
Because I love HaNeul and Taesan. When
she
unloads on her mom of, like, the fact that everybody else thinks I'm pathetic and I'm useless. I didn't care. Mm-hmm. But now you think that. Which, again, that's not what her mom's direction was. And to go upstairs and just be like, I just need to not be near people. And Taesan coming up and being like, you know, your mom this. And she's like, please don't tell me to try to try understanding her. And he goes, that's impossible. Don't bother.
She is still my sister.
That is so sibling coded.
There's a little bit of Pada in there.
It was pretty great. But just to be like, you know what? These are the things that I used to be able to do to cheer you up, and now I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know what direction you want me to go. So I'm just here when you need me. Just a reminder. And then to pull the whole family unit together. Like, that was just...
Yeah. Well, and I like that
sweet.
It was sweet, and he alludes to the fact that, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but guess who else doesn't know exactly what she's doing? It's your mom. She's doing her best, and she really loves you, and you know that. So, like, cut her some slack, but he doesn't just say it outright. Right. He lets her draw that conclusion on his own, which is what she needed. Mm-hmm. It's just something that the male perspective will do for for you on a given day. But Pada and the uncle and his and the mother, their little sparring matches that they have. I love that.
Yes.
Pada is the punk kid, but is still somehow ultimately the voice of reason in this family. Even with HaNeul.
Yeah, it's...
Because she's not street smart. Like, she's very book smart, obviously. But she is so not...
relationally aware.
No, at all. And so for him, and I feel like that's as the youngest sibling in my family, I feel like sometimes you can be the most based, but you're, like, treated like the idiot. And so you're like, cool, I'll just act like the idiot. But I'm still the most based.
I get off scot-free on so many things. Because that's even, like, one of my favorites is when, this is after HaNeul has yelled at her mom, and Pada's downstairs, and he's washing the dishes, and he's like, why do they keep multiplying? Like, where do they keep coming from? And I was like, same, bro. Like, why? But for him to, like, turn around, and he's not trying to, like, bash on his mom, because he knows that his sister's super upset, but then she's like freaking out, but he turns and burns his hand and is just like, this is your fault. I didn't want to be in here anyway. Like,
no.
And she just like breaks down and he just goes, why are you doing that? Like, stop crying, Mom.
Wait.
I did not mean to go that was not hard. The direction. I was expecting you to start hitting me because that was the normal response.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go with HongRan and DaeYoung. No, let's save them for last.
I know that was one that you were.
growth.
I know that was one that you were very curious about. Okay. How about JeongWoo and DaeYoung?
Yes, that's a great topic. Obviously episode 12 is very like, it gives us a lot of the building blocks of their relationship because we really we didn't know what the falling out was. We just knew that they had once been close and then they weren't. And it sure seemed like JeongWoo might have been the catalyst for that because of his kind of smuggy, I don't even know. He just kind
his
of
attitude. Yeah,
he's sort of full of himself for a while there.
A little bit of ego.
A lot of bit of ego.
Big ego.
But the camping trip is where this all comes to light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, super freaking cute. We'll get back to that part too.
Yes.
But when they're telling stories around the campfire about how, HaNeul and HongRan, they just got along because they were
avoiding
people
drama.
They could have confided in each other and it not be like blown out of proportion. They were trustworthy or whatever. And then they're like, okay, so what about you two? And the way that they preface their stories, so they're like winding up for their own mini K-drama.
It was a mini K-drama.
the best friendship. They're holding each other up in life. And
I loved him with all my heart. I cared about him a lot. Okay, DaeYoung, we know you're in love with him. It's fine.
I thought that was JeongWoo who said that.
It was DaeYoung. Because he's telling like, this is how we became friends.
When he slips the kopiko in his pocket and
gets him through the testing, gets him through internships. Like,
yeah. There were a lot of tropes in this last episode.
All in just their story.
I know. But then what happens is there's a little bit of competitiveness that comes out in the fact that DaeYoung is going to go on this like mission-minded
medical
trip.
Volunteer,
right, volunteer trip, and it makes you look good. It does. It wins you brownie points at work, and it goes well on an application. Mm-hmm. And JeongWoo's like, okay, yeah, and then as he's congratulating him on the stairs later, he like pats him on the back, and whoop, there he goes down the stairs. Breaks his arm
off of a plastic bag. It's not that he just shoves
no.
it. But
yeah, it's just a fluke thing. And so JeongWoo goes in his stead and gets famous off of it. That is the trip that made him internet famous.
Right.
It's because he was so good looking. And so, of course, DaeYoung's a little bit disgruntled about it. And then the second half of the misunderstanding, if you want to talk about it.
Oh, well, yeah. So he comes back and he's like, being given these messages of like, hey, this TV station wants to talk to you because of the documentary. And he's like, oh, like, okay, like, I guess, like, that wasn't ever his intention to be like,
that wasn't why he went.
Look at me, right? And so when he's like trying to talk to his best friend, and he's just
about work-related things, too.
Like, hey, can you please help me find some cases related to XYZ? And DaeYoung is not just salty, he is the whole salt shaker. Like, I think you can do it because you're the nation's doctor. Like,
why don't you ask the nation for help since you're the nation's doctor?
So ridiculous about it. And like,
funny.
They start spinning each other's chairs around, and literally, like, little kids fight like this.
It was like a high school girl cat fight because they literally are grabbing each other's hair.
And then pillow fight.
I was like, is this like a sleepover?
He gets him in a chair, and JeongWoo kicks him out the door, and they're just, the girls are sitting there going,
Yeah, initially they defended their man, and then they were like,
slide away now.
I don't want anything to do with you. You're embarrassing.
But what was so great about at the end of it was they both got to say their side because the other person was listening. And so, you know, DaeYoung's like, you know what a hard time I was having. I had just filed for divorce because I was going through this with my in-laws, and they expected all of these things of me. And so when you went and you shot, you know, into celebrity status, I thought that should have been me. And I could have shown my in-laws, like, no, I am successful. I am this.
Right.
He's like, so that just was really hard. Like, that really just sucked. And JeongWoo was like, dude, like, I'm so sorry. I was like, but I came back and you didn't even acknowledge me.
Right, I did it as a favor to you.
At all. Like, I was just trying to take your place because you got injured. I wasn't trying to, like, let's make this all about me. Like, but you just quit talking to me. Like, you got mad at me for no reason.
Yeah. It is a very sweet little reconciliation. And I just love, they had to have so much fun filming those scenes.
Oh, yeah, because before they grab the pillow, JeongWoo has his stethoscope and he's, like, swinging it around. And DaeYoung takes out a thing of instant coffee and it falls out of his hand.
Is that what it was? Yeah. I couldn't tell what it was.
Before they get the pillows.
Oh my gosh. So funny. But yeah, I like that we got to kind of delve into that world. But by the time we're yanked out of it, HongRan and HaNeul are like, no, we don't want anything to do with you. And they left.
Like, we're out now. This is too much.
Another relationship, KyungMin and JeongWoo. This one's a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
What's the thing we say at the beginning? I keep wanting to say public notice.
PSA, public service announcement?
Yeah, thanks. Can we do one of those?
Okay.
Since he gets roofied.
PSA, there's drugs and drugging of people. It's bad. Okay. We didn't break until now, so I think we've done okay.
Don't drug your friends, is what she's trying to say. Just kidding.
Do not drug your friends.
Or your enemies.
Just wait till they've already taken something and come over and make food.
I don't know what's happening. That took an interesting turn. I don't know that I really expected the KyungMin storyline to come back with such force.
Yeah.
But I think it makes for a very interesting I was kind of like, I don't know, like, I feel kind of bored with the rest of the show until they introduced that arc, and I was kind of glad they did, just because that makes you want to get, like, the questions answered.
Right.
And the only reason I say that is because the first half was so story-driven versus, like, romance-driven. Because, right, this isn't just a romance story.
Right.
It's not like Business Proposal, where we're strictly in it to see the cutesy moments, right?
Right.
There's a lot of storytelling that's been happening, and then all of a sudden it kind of just dropped off to focus on JeongWoo and HaNeul, and so I was glad they reintroduced this aspect of it. Because everybody likes good mystery.
It's true.
I'm just babbling so bad.
You're actually not.
Okay, good. Thank you. But I just was a little taken aback by how, I think HaNeul said it best. She was like, the situation was starting to feel really dangerous. And it does. It starts to get really intense and dangerous when you're thinking about, like, the lengths that he is going to achieve some sort of end goal, which we're starting to maybe see glimpses of, which have to do with, like, a drug trafficking ring based out of Macau, I think it was, or Myanmar, one of the two. I think there's Macau, two simultaneous things happening.
What it is JeongWoo overhears HongRan on the phone talking about how KyungMin is the reason that HaNeul has hit rock bottom.
Right.
Like, he is the cause. So he confronts him and is like, you know, what did you do?
What the heck, man?
And KyungMin instantly goes into defense mode of don't believe any, like you're just believing whatever comes out of her mouth blindly. Like seriously, I told you not to like her. She's just useless. To which JeongWoo was like, and now you die. Like, false. That's not what we get to do here. And that's when he realizes we had a problem. Like, there is an incident that I never thought about again because I didn't think it was real. I thought I was dreaming or I was just super drunk, like, whatever it is. And so when he finally opens up to HaNeul and was like, after learning what had happened to you, I realized, I think that happened to me. Like, he tried to take me out. You know, I was after taking, like, the college entrance test or whichever one, and we were out drinking, and I was so drunk, I don't know if it was real or not, but I saw him stir powder into my drink. But again, I didn't know if that was actually what had happened.
Right.
Because then the next day, and every day since, he's been the same person. He never changed. He's always just been there.
Yeah.
And he's like, but now I'm going, that might have actually happened. That may have been a real thing. Because then he even tells DaeYoung about it. Because then DaeYoung goes, yeah, I saw powder fall out of his coat once. Because when he would come see you, you know, on his off days, he would come see me as well. We ran into each other, and when I gave him back his coat, a powder came out. And he said, I don't take pills, so I have him crush him into powder for me. And he goes,
right,
there's something that could
either
be.
the drugging was premeditated and he crushed it into a powder so that he could slip it into his drink, or he was already using himself.
Right.
And so, it's just not a good look for him at this point.
No, it is not.
The relationship between... Let's do JeongWoo and HaNeul.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, well, even like her family, though, like, more like his relationship with her family. Because, first of all, they're finally dating again. And this time he's like, you can't break this. Like, let's go get it notarized for 100 years that you'll never break up with me. Like, I'll feel better with the law on my side.
Fair.
But they're dating, but they agree to keep it secret. And she's like, but I want to tell my family, but like on my own time. So her mom, being her mom, which, quick little bunny trail, I cannot see her the same now after watching Parasite, because I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know, it's crazy.
You are not the same. Anyway, I don't know why.
She's also the mom in True Beauty.
Okay. I haven't watched that one yet, because
she does a good job of...
She's so good.
She's so different from Parasite, though. And in True Beauty, so different.
So different, yeah. It just, there was a few times where I'm like, no, I can't. No. Anyway. But when she's nosy, because...
All moms are.
And she sees that JeongWoo has a woman sleeping in his bed. And it's HaNeul, and she's like, we're keeping it a secret now. Like, I wanted to tell them on my time, and
we can't expose ourselves
now. But I love her mom being like, thinking that, you know, he moved on, and is like,
oh, she mad.
Boy, I'm gonna take you out. Let me take this tie and tighten, like, straighten that for you a little bit more until it's a hangman's noose, and let me get that dirt off of your suit and then use my elbow to finish the job. Like,
between your ribs.
Real kindly.
Yeah, or not so kindly.
Not so kindly. But then when she figures it out, the complete different of like, you know what? I know why you didn't say anything, and that makes me like you more for my child. Like, it's very sweet. I mean, it was cute. Quick turnaround. It's a little whiplashy. Yeah. But then for her to be like, this is how I'm going to announce, like, that I know, is I'm inviting you to birthday lunch because you're now my family. Like,
Oh, birthday lunch was good. That was sweet.
Very sweet.
I like that it shows just the secrets are all out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Like HaNeul didn't want to say anything about having a boyfriend and having a job because they didn't really feel like sure things, I think. And her family just constantly worries about her because she keeps secrets, and then
secrets don't make friends.
Friends don't make secrets. But for HaNeul's mom to be like, this is the greatest gift you could have given me, for you to be doing things with your life that make you feel fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And not because it has any measurable level of like financial success that other people would, have hold a measuring stick to,
mm-hmm.
but because you yourself are in a good place, and that makes me feel reassured that you're in a good place. So
right.
And they're all crying, and then they bust open the champagne and get a little rowdy. It was a good scene.
I also, not related to them, but I loved Pada in that scene.
Yeah.
When he takes on the Seoul dialect.
Yeah.
And his mom and sister are like, why are you being gross? It's stop it immediately.
He's trying to be posh.
And he's like, you don't understand. He goes, when I'm, take out Busan girls, they love my Seoul dialect. But when I'm with, take out, Seoul girls, they love my Busan dialect. He's like, this is why I'm popular.
I wear many hats.
He was just great, random comedic relief.
He really is.
And
he reminds me of in Goblin, what's his name?
Oh,
the nephew, Dokwa. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Dokwa. But and with that lunch, I love that. I mean, Pada's fickle. We know that he's fickle, but just be like, take care of her, but also take care of me. I am now your best friend.
Go
ahead.
Were you gonna talk about relationship stuff?
Yeah, it was gonna be JeongWoo with Taesun and Pada when they take him out.
Oh, that was cute. Yeah.
Because that was just sweet, because they were because Taesung's going, I am the father figure of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is my niece. The reason why I left and came to Seoul was for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Pada's going, you mean it wasn't because your restaurant would be more, unique here? Stop talking. But them to be like, you know what? We have to have the man-to-man conversation here, and we're going to make you pay for everything. We are on your side. We have your back no matter what happens. If she tries to yell at you, we won't let her. Total gaslighting the next day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I was kind of myself, just what happened here? But yeah, they kept pressuring him to drink, and then he was like, no, I need to be I have work, I have
responsibilities here.
Answer to HaNeul, and then the next day they're just yeah, we tried to stop him from drinking, but he just kept pouring it down the hatch. And then look at this great gift that he gave us. And it's the wad of cash that he had just withdrawn the day before.
To get everyone gifts.
Yeah, in celebration of his first paycheck. After he had said he wasn't going to get HaNeul anything, he gives them all of the spending cash.
So generous.
Let's HongRan and DaeYoung.
Yes.
Very cute. I love the single parenting camaraderie that they have going with the little SOS cards or tokens or whatever you want to call them,
stickers,
and just the fact that they're using their children kind of as an excuse to be around one another. And I think HongRan knows that she has feelings for him, but she really keeps him at arm's length for quite some time when he's just willing to
He's like, yeah, no, I like you.
Come, please reciprocate in some way. But she keeps putting up the wall a little bit. Mm-hmm. Which I think is typical of men and women in that regard anyway. But I think their relationship is so fun in the fact that it's new. Like there's no history there really.
Right.
And they're both best friends with another couple who've gotten together, and just seeing them being willing to consider something that I don't know that they really had. Ouch. I know. Ow.
Now.
Awful.
And now we have to take a break because Kim's trying to...
Ow, that did not feel good. I just don't think they considered it for themselves because they are single parents who work very demanding jobs.
Right.
And barely get to see their families anyway. But I think that would be hard for other people to understand outside of their profession. And so for them to have found someone who
is in a similar...
understands their situation, it gives them hope for companionship.
I think it gives him more hope than HongRan because she does tell HaNeul, she's like, yeah, like I do kind of like him. Like, he's my type. You know, he's kind of this lost, deer in the headlights. And the look on HaNeul's face and her response was exactly how her mom is. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Well, good luck with your
deer in the headlights.
But even before the SOS cards, of just being like, I have nobody to watch my child. I have to go into surgery. And he's like, yeah, like he can hang out with me. We're in the same building. You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
At all. And then for him, he's struggling with a preteen and going, what do I do with this human now? And her stepping in and, running into each other and seeing he's looking up like bras for middle school girls because he's like, I don't know how to look for this stuff.
Yeah.
And her just being like, let me help you out real fast. And then giving advice on, you need to up her allowance because she's going to have these things that she needs to buy that she's not going to tell you. She doesn't want her dad to be the one to, get feminine products, get makeup, get whatever, like, just make sure she has the money. She can handle it on her own. Yeah. I promise she's okay. Because he definitely fell first.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
When she subscribed to his channel.
Please subscribe. If there's some pretty Korean boy out there that wants to subscribe to our channel, Ashley is waiting for you.
Hi.
Oh boy, I'm cutting that out. Should we get into plot?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, yeah, sure.
I liked that we got to see JeongWoo get back in the saddle with surgeries. That was kind of a big focus in episodes like 9 and 10, I think.
Yeah.
And I like that we get to see that he is better, but not altogether fixed. Mm-hmm. He still struggles through his PTSD. I mean, genuinely, somebody died a gruesome death on his table. Right. And so every time that he picks up a scalpel, that's what he sees. Every time he dons scrubs, that's what he sees. And he's trying to put on like a brave face for everyone because there's this expectation that he is this world-class plastic surgeon that should be up to speed at this point, and he's just not. Yeah. And he has to leave a surgery because he can't get past this
seeing blood everywhere.
Right. And I mean
rightfully so.
But we see like some of the nurses kind of gossiping about it, and it's just adding fuel to his fire. And word eventually gets back to DaeYoung about it. Obviously, he knows it's his clinic. And so he and HaNeul both have seen things that are making them concerned. So they reach out to one another, and over drinks or something like that.
Yeah, like coffee or something, yeah.
They kind of get to chatting about it, and HaNeul actually asks if she can scrub in and be the anesthesiologist on his upcoming surgery.
Right.
And DaeYoung agrees to it because he's just genuinely concerned about what's happening with JeongWoo, because this is not characteristic of him. So, and he wants him to get back in the saddle, but he wants him to do it when he's ready.
Right. He doesn't want JeongWoo to push himself too far. Right.
For his sake and for the safety of his patients. And so HaNeul doesn't tell JeongWoo that she is going to scrub in for surgery. And I love the realness of him having her there as a support, but him still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And it still is not, it's still there, like it still lingers. It's just more tolerable, or he has gotten to the point where he can push through it.
Mm-hmm.
But his reaction, I still try to understand it, and a lot of it's just because I'm a woman. Where he was real mad about the fact that she was there.
Right.
And I think some of it's pride.
Well, he even tells her that.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be well for you, and the fact that I was still, like, shaking literally in front of you. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not the side of you I want.
Well, and she had
the side I want you to see.
Very clearly walking. Christopher Walken had walked away from this relationship. She drew a line in the sand and said, don't cross it. We're done with each other.
Right.
You felt sorry for me. You pitied me. And now we can't be together because you don't look at me like I'm a person. And then she turns around and she pities him. And he's just like, you either agree to struggle through this with me, or you just get out of my life. And for right now, I can't look at you. So get out of my life. And I guess I do kind of get that.
Right. I mean, yeah, I was... Because I think she needed that, though. She needed to be told that, of, like, you don't get to just...
When it's
convenient for you.
Yeah.
Step in. Because, like, that's selfish. And you're kind of ruining me. So please stop ruining me.
The emotional whiplash of it, too, is not conducive to him getting better.
Mm-mm.
So.
And that's when we have her, talk with her mom and her brother the next day and like appreciating the little things that her mom started doing, rather than just, shoving encouragement down her throat, and going, I'm finally understanding what that means to want to care about someone, like, no matter what it is that they're going through. And so she needed that slap in the face to be like, oh.
Sometimes it requires the more subtle things instead of the in-your-faceness about it, until the person comes around to the fact that you're there for them.
But even before he goes into surgery, he's already kind of shaken, hearing that HaNeul was going on a blind date. So that already was messing with him. And HongRan is the worst because she's so freaking loud on the phone. Like, she's trying to yell for the whole building to hear every conversation she has.
Yeah.
It's maddening. Because JeongWoo overhears that HaNeul's gone on a blind date, and she hangs up and goes, oh crap, I hope he didn't hear me. Well, honey, when you're yelling, everybody hears you.
They heard you in Detroit.
Like, I don't know what else to tell you, girl.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty big plot moment, because that was when HaNeul gets mad at her mom.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a very rage-inducing date that she didn't know she was going on.
Yeah. I mean, we already knew it was going to go that direction,
right,
before it even happened, but, yeah.
don't lie. Just be honest and tell the truth. Hey, this guy wants to meet you for a blind date. Not, this guy has some questions about a hospital.
Well, she knew she wouldn't have gone.
But he was also just, because that's what it was supposed to be. He was the worst. Oh, their teacher. And
oh yeah, that was kind of the turning point for him.
Right.
Because he wasn't going to do surgeries again. He had kind of thrown in the towel and decided that was not in the cards for him, and that
for just safety.
He'd reached his peak, and now he just needs to step back and not put others at risk, just for the sake of his pride. And when his teacher shows up, and it's both HaNeul and JeongWoo's teacher, and they all get together and end up going to lunch, and DaeYoung kind of
just
somehow fourth wheels
invites himself.
Yeah. The reminiscing that happens there is very fun, but he goes to leave, and we learn down the road that HaNeul is going to scrub in on a surgery for him. And it is funny because when DaeYoung was kind of like, come see me, you need Botox. Come see me, you need Botox. And he walks away and he's like, you really do need to come see me soon. Like, very seriously.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, obviously he's actually sick.
Like, there's something going on.
Right. And it's not just a cosmetic something. And we do learn that there is a very large cyst or tumor or something that has grown
lipoma or something
on his back. And I mean, it's like the size of my fist.
Yeah, it was quite large.
Yeah, and it was affecting his quality of life. And so he originally went there to get help from JeongWoo because he trusted him. He knew that he was a great student, a great doctor. But JeongWoo was no longer taking patients. And he had overheard some some nurses say that he couldn't perform surgeries anymore because of his PTSD. So he was going to drop the whole notion. And
Oh, no. That wasn't just a wall. That was the white trick of
I was just getting annoyed of listening to myself talk. Anyway, so what happens is anyway, HaNeul's just like, okay, he wants you, so get out of your own brain. I'm gonna be there, you should be there. And he goes,
let's do this. Yeah,
I'll do it. And he does it successfully. That's his first successful return to surgery, is helping his teacher. And I think in some ways it helped to have that extra motivation that this wasn't just something cosmetic, it was something that he needed,
right,
in order to continue, living his life in a normal capacity. And so I don't know, you can keep talking.
Well, he tells her that there's
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa.
We're not that kind of show.
Okay, you were saying.
He tells her there's no better reason to get over his trauma than her. I'm looking at a blanket.
This is a bad decision because it's really comfy under here. It's so warm.
After the surgery, it's a successful surgery. It's a good day, and they have the team dinner.
Oh yeah.
Why do you have to have such intense questions for every get-together in every K-drama? It is like, I need all of your deepest, darkest, most intimate details to be shared with the entire work party here.
No.
I think I'm good. Like,
I don't even remember what they were. Oh, yeah.
So it looks like a bingo thing, but they have questions, and so they take a fork and spin the fork. Whoever it lands on has to, answer the question. So the first person it lands on is, I have HaNeul as the first victim, which that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it said, her question is, are you in a relationship right now? And she's like, no.
And that hurts JeongWoo's feelings.
He's like, but then he's the next victim. And his question is, when was your most recent kiss? And he's like,
he drinks.
10 years ago.
And that hurts HaNeul's feelings.
So they are actually dating at this point. This is when they're finally like, yeah, you know what? We're
official.
We're official. And the reason that they actually decided to get back together is after he had thrown hands with KyungMin, and she was just like, why are you fighting? But please tell me you hit him more. Like, that's really all I need to know. But when she was taking care of his injuries, that's when they started dating, but didn't actually have the DTR until the next day.
Yeah.
Because they're
too busy macking.
They're way too busy macking.
To circle back to KyungMin, though.
Yes.
When that original sketchy anesthesiologist shows up at the end of episode 11, I believe it is, that was kind of a holy crap moment. But at first you're like, are they in cahoots with each other? Mm-hmm. But then you realize in episode 12, what had happened was there was another camera. They found 6, but there was a 7th camera that had been planted in KyungMin's office. And it apparently contained footage that is no longer there. And the reason that it seems that way is because the anesthesiologist was like, why would you hold on to the camera for 2 days before you turned it into the police? Mm-hmm. Like, what should be there? Or what did you do to it?
Right.
Like, why did you hang on to it for so long? And this piggybacks off of the whole notion that he's dealing in he's in the big leagues with this. This is not little dollars, obviously. And as he is flipping out about this, which I half expected us to see the anesthesiologist's body on the ground.
Well, because he tells him, he's like, nobody knew that there was a 7th camera. Wouldn't it be interesting to see what I caught on there? Yep,
exactly. And so when he's busy raging about this after the anesthesiologist has apparently left, he gets a call from HaNeul, who does the stupid horror movie film thing and walks into the house that she wasn't supposed to by herself when she knew better.
Doesn't turn around and leave.
She literally knew better. She was like, I want to talk. She calls him. She's like, we need to meet. He goes, okay. And so he pulls up in his car. And he's like, get in. She's like, no, I want to talk out here. Well, there's cars honking behind him. And she goes, well, okay. Stupid. No. We're all screaming at the TV now.
Well, yeah, because she found out information about his company, and because she loves research, that is her thing.
Reads dissertations for fun, yeah.
As she's going through this information, she sees a picture of the vice president of the company that KyungMin now works for, and is like, that's the guy who ran into me on the stairs right after JeongWoo's hearing, and knocked her over. And she's like, why would he be there? Mm-hmm. What business does he have at that trial?
Right. Because it's not like KyungMin worked for him. Mm-mm. And also, if KyungMin's not the one on trial.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
And so she confronts him about it, and she's like, this dissertation has so many errors in it that it should have never made it past the first trial, and you're going into the 3rd. Tell me why. And as they're talking about this, there's a truck. KyungMin has swerved into oncoming traffic, and he spins the car around, and you're like, oh, cool. They're in the clear. Well, trope.
White truck of doom.
White truck of death. Barrels into them, and it's onto the driver's side, and you're like, well, he's clearly dead.
That's not. happening.
Should be, at least.
Ugh.
We got Kopiko and Truck of Doom in one. Then, yeah.
Yeah. Episode 10 was when HaNeul had, after she had made up with her mom, after her mom set her up on the date, and like they all, as a family, got a little schmammered, and she drunk text JeongWoo, "Are you sleeping?" And
Schmammered.
the next morning, Pata comes in, and that was honestly like the most ridiculous, like, dude, get it together. But he throws a basket at her and is like, "Go get this for mom upstairs." And he's like, "I'm gonna die." And he's like holding his butt as he's running to the bathroom.
Dude, if it got to that point, you're doing your own laundry this week.
Yeah. But she goes upstairs to the rooftop and sees that JeongWoo was sitting there with the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, why can't he be there, you know?
With the coffee?
The coffee. Oh.
I don't know. The
The
coffee.
coffee.
Schmammered.
But he teases her about being a clingy ex-girlfriend. And he's like, you know, you texted me, you know, he's just giving her a hard time. And, you know, you must be doing well. You're drinking, eating, you know, pig trotters. You're going on blind dates. Like, she's like, "First of all, I didn't know that I was going on a blind date." He's like, "Well, I'm in no position to say anything because I'm just an ex." Like, he's being so petty.
Yeah.
And tells her, you know, "I don't want you to be too happy, but I also don't want you to be too sad. Like, I want you to eat well. I still want you to sleep." And then the most adorable thing ever is, "Can I wait for you?"
Yes.
Like, "I want to wait until you're better." And he goes, "I'm going to pine and wait for you like an ex should, because I'll come back whenever you're ready."
Not quite goblin level, but I'm just kidding.
Oh, when they go to the club, when she goes to take him and make him, like, we're gonna distract ourselves and we're gonna just go have fun.
The club. Oh.
And they go clubbing. And
yeah.
First of all, loved her outfit. Second of all, that's so loud and exhausting.
It did not look like a good time. I love, though, that when they start to dance and he's really surprised by the fact that she even owns an outfit that looks like that. She's like, "Yeah, I just bought it like 3 years ago or something when HongRan and I were gonna go on a weekend, and then we never did." And then he offers to go get them drinks, and as he leaves to go get them drinks, another guy shows up and starts to like talk to HaNeul. And he's just like, "Yeah, no.
I'm here.
I'm the ex-boyfriend, and I don't approve of you."
I'm the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep the ex quiet. But I loved his dance moves as he went again to go get drinks, and he's just going like this through the crowd. This is what happens in your 30s, is you just find one move.
The anesthesiologist did say to KyungMin, "You have to make good on your promise."
Yes.
So there is something happening there. Like, there's an agreement of some form. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, because that's why HaNeul calls KyungMin in the first place, other than doing research, is she had gotten a phone call from her mom saying that Pada was at the police station, and he was trying to identify the man that he had seen at JeongWoo's apartment the day he moved in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Are you sure it's not the same guy from before? Like, the one that we've already talked to?" And they're like, "No, this is somebody different." And so they're trying to identify who it is. And when HaNeul comes in, she sees that it's KyungMin. And so that's why she starts doing the research. And
and she had actually left that meeting, or is this when she calls the reporter? Or had she left the meeting with the reporter to go to Pada?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? I can't remember the exact order, which is sad because I watched it today.
Okay. So, HaNeul is at therapy. Her therapist goes to the homepage of his iPad or whatever.
Right,
she sees the picture and sees that the company Haesung, which is where KyungMin now works, and sees KyungMin in the picture because the hospital, their clinic and that pharmaceutical company
sponsors.
Yeah, they sponsor and they have different programs in different countries. So Macau and then Macau and whatever the other one was.
Myanmar.
I didn't have those right now, but that's when she calls HongRan for her reporter friend's number and talks to him, and he's like, that's when he tells her about the drug. And it's like, it's going into phase 3. Most things fail by phase 2. He's like, the source is kind of sketchy because this is the same source that works for.
Well, they
Haesung
participated in collusion in order to
manipulate stocks.
Yeah, insider trading.
And that's when she does, starts looking into everything, finds the picture of the vice president, gets the phone, she's leaving that, gets the phone call from her mom, goes, sees Pada, and then calls KyungMin and was like, yeah, we need to talk.
Yeah.
I know you're doing something pretty sketchy here, so... and then that's when they're in the car and meet the white truck of doom. So,
okay, we have to talk about tropes before we clock out.
Okay.
Before I clock out. Trope number 1.
Yes.
We have the Kopiko. Trope number 2, we had the white truck of doom.
Mm-hmm.
Trope number 3, we had, what did I just say?
The mini K-drama between JeongWoo and DaeYoung.
No, it's something else. School uniforms.
Oh, yeah, to take pictures.
There has been a disappointing lack of subway in this show to date. If you watch Record of Youth, the lead character works in a subway.
The entire show. Right there should be sponsored.
I can't think of any others right now.
I loved there was a When Harry Met Sally moment. HaNeul was called HongRan and JeongWoo was called DaeYoung, and they're in her apartment and they're having separate conversations, and they come together and they don't tell the other that they had just talked to their best friends. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we gotta wrap this up before I really fall off the deep end. What are we talking about? Tropes? I'm done with tropes. Moments we hated. Did we hate anything?
The blind date, because her aunt is just...
Blind date sucked.
Terrible. Her aunt was being because when she goes on the date, he's a schmuck. And he's like, I've heard a lot about you from your aunt. I know that you're jobless, and I know that, you haven't been able to get a boyfriend, and I know all these terrible things, which is just one person's perspective.
The worst person's perspective.
The worst person's perspective, and he's like, that it would be better to be the director of some rural hospital than a professor. Because she asks him, okay, what did you want to know? And he just goes, does asking that hurt your pride less? Does pretending you weren't forced to be here make you feel better?
Yo, that was
Oh, I was like, bro.
I had words for him.
If you had said that to me in person, drink in face.
Yeah.
Instantly.
That would not be good.
The audacity that you had, first of all, your dad thinks you're stupid. That's why he wants you to marry someone else.
Who's not stupid?
To take over for him. Mm-hmm. So what really do you bring to the table? Because as far as any perspective, future partner that you have, you bring nothing to the table. Your dad has presented a table in front of somebody else to be like, oh yeah, I'll deal with this ding-dong over here.
Yeah.
Like, kindly step off.
Okay, are we wrapping up?
I think we're wrapping up. We're getting a little beyond.
I've been beyond.
That was episodes 9 through 12. We're broken now. I told you earlier I watched The White Truck of Doom just like take you out because you're like, I hit a wall. No, it was
the wall hit back.
we done.
That's all I have today. That's all we have. What am I saying?
That's all she wrote.
That's all we have today because.
Like what you're hearing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any new episodes. We'd love to connect with you on our Instagram at The KDrama Show. For more behind-the-scenes content, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Links are in the show notes. Thanks for hanging out with us on The KDrama Show with Ashley and Kim, and we'll see you next time.